Hi, I'm Nick Confuorto. I am used to be the president and COO of CR Ocean Engineering. I'm now semi-retired, supporting the same company as an advisor, and we do scrubbing systems for ships.
Nick, what is the current lie of the land when it comes to market attitude towards scrubbers?
It has improved over the past 2 years. It was quite bad, but COVID and financial situation and also the fuel pricing all kind of came together to make the scrubber market very poor. But now has improved. Things are looking much better. We're getting many more inquiries, and we won some additional projects now, and so things are starting to look up again. The market is coming back.
Do you think that the discussions you're having with clients have moved on from the science to the purely commercial?
Yes, with regards to wet scrubbing, the technology is accepted and people now do believe and trust it. Um, the discussions have changed somewhat, though. They're changing more toward not only the scrubbing systems, but what also can we do in terms of CO2 and particulates.
From a regulatory perspective, what to your mind will be the future for onboard wet scrubbers for SOx, NOx, and PM reduction?
There have been a lot of discussions about that in terms of water discharge. In reality, that's really a not issue, a non-issue. The water discharge meets all the requirements, and when you consider it, it's very clean. The amount of pollutants that we collect and we convert to an inert sulfate, which is most of the sea sulfate, it's really not an issue. The particulates that the scrubbers are collecting presently are very small amounts, and no more than the dust you would normally get from a good wind going to the sea. So it's really not such an issue, although politically it's still a big issue politically, in that some of the ports are not allowing water discharge, or some of them are restricting it considerably. So what we are seeing now is some customers that come to us to convert our open loop systems to closed loop systems, where they can retain the water on board when they're in areas where they cannot discharge. It's a process that we can easily do, but there is a cost to that, of course, and that's the reason the clients usually went to open loop instead of closed loop, was because the additional cost in doing a closed loop system. But we do have that potential if clients request closed loop conversions.
And to those considering dry scrubbing, what would you say to them?
Well, dry scrubbing, it's something fairly new for ships, although we've done those on land for many years. The systems work well on land. I think the issue with dry scrubbing on ships is the size and the amount of solids that you have to carry on board. If you remember, not many years ago, there was another German company that tried dry scrubbing, and the reason they're no longer selling it is because the amount of solids were such that it did not make feasible sense to have so much lime or hydrated lime. At the time that I believe they were using some kind of lime, but there is a potential to use that on ships. Obviously, depends on the trip, how long the trip is, and how much reagent you need to carry. We are also developing a dry scrubbing system, which we've used on land. And if we find a customer that wants one, we'll sell one for a ship. But they are much larger than a wet scrubber.
And finally, Nick, as you reflect on MAP Americas, did the event meet your expectations?
Actually, it exceeded my expectations. I did not. I went to it. I was invited to speak, and I did. I did not know what to expect, because just coming out of the 2 year of COVID, and now coming out to a live event, but I was surprised. There were quite a few people there. some very key people from shipping industry, and some very sizable companies, I would say. So I was happy to see them and have a chance to discuss things, and so I was fairly happy with the outcome.